Hello, and welcome to NPCs of Tal'Dorei, reviewing episode 5. This week we have a special guest. He's all the way from America. He is a D&D enthusiast. He is a philanthropist. He's an actor, a butcher, a comedian.
No.
He's also a spelunker.
I mean, he's funny looking, but...
He likes to... This is our guest. His name is Thomas. You may recognize him from our game, Black Eyes of Nights. So we're here.
Black Winter Night, Ollie. You named it.
Black Winter Nights. And we're here today to review and recap Episode 5. We probably should have turned that off.
That's just a washing machine, don't worry.
So, we'll go through the episode and welcome to NPCs.
Yeah, it's episode 5.
Yeah.
Ollie, for some reason, wants to go this real fast, so let's speak really slowly and slow it down. Anyway,
yeah.
So we'll start off the episode, taking off from episode 4.
Oh, for fuck's sake, come on. No human talks that slowly. Unless they've had brain damage.
Anyway, so they start off interrogating the dark... I call him Dark Dwarf. I call him Dark Dwarf.
Yeah.
Dark Dwarf General for information on basically where Kima is.
Yep. They've got Clarota, the Mind Flayer, with them at this point, and he does some pretty cool stuff in this episode, working alongside as an ally.
Yes. So what do you think? Tom?
Well, I love putting I guess on the spot. It brings me a lot of joy. I was really surprised because the first roll of the night was a nat 20 with the interrogation.
Yeah, that landed that.
Yeah, and it led brilliantly, and it really caught me off guard because I was like, oh well, you know, something's gonna happen. They're gonna fail miserably. They're gonna be lied to. But they did an interrogation check, and he seemed truthful, and then it turns out that he was lying.
Yeah.
Here's actually a side question. How long have you lived in New Zealand for?
5 years so far.
Do they seem like they have accents?
Yes.
To you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What, New Zealanders?
No. The cast of Critical Role.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They got accents? You can pick them up? Yeah. Well, I was just wondering that, because when we speak to a New Zealander, we don't pick up an accent. And you're American, you listen to it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's like, they're also voice actors. So it's like...
True.
You can specifically pick up, like, what they're trying to implicate.
Yeah.
Implicate?
Imply.
Yeah.
Words!
I finally found a buddy who's bad at words.
Here I am. I'm here to be Dave's support, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't get enough from Ollie.
Essentially, hey. It's true. So essentially, the first... Yeah, he's the old one. So the first kind of chunk of this episode is them getting information from this guy, using insight, realizing that he's lying, using intimidation, getting new information, rolling insight again, and then confirming it as Clarota uses detect faults.
Yeah, it's basically because there's so many noises going on right now. I don't know what's going on. But basically, it's one of those kind of like you're fishing for information against the DM and trying to get as much out of it. But I think it ends delightfully with Clarota eating his brain. Yeah,
so essentially Vax decides to take his pants off. Not Vax's pants, he takes off the guy's pants with his sword, and then they drop, but he's still wearing armor, which was like, okay, slightly weird choice, but it's D&D. That happens. And then the guy runs, he uses invisibility.
That's what we should do in our games. Just to mess with Ollie. Let's
please.
just take our pants off.
Real randomly as well.
Yeah, it's like we're going into battle. Let's just take our pants off.
Turn around in combat, what do you do?
I don't want to spend an action taking off my pants.
Am my pants still on? Because I'll use my... Please don't do that. You break the DM enough as it is.
That would be fun.
Anyway, eventually Clarota uses mind powers, obviously being a psychic entity, and holds the guy in place, breaks his spell of invisibility, and eats his brain, which is, okay, sure.
That's kind of what one of those things do.
Yeah, it's fitting with the character.
Don't be racist. It's just what they do.
And then all hell breaks loose as the alarms start ringing.
Yeah, so because they stealthed in on the previous episode, they didn't kind of force their way through. Yeah. There's still quite a lot of Dark Dwarfs around, and other entities. Yeah. Durigar. And other entities. So basically they everyone's alerted to their presence and they kind of have to fight their way out. Then run their way out.
Tiberius Stormwind, yes, he would like to use Fireball. How's that as an impression? That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I've been working on that for a week.
About a 3 out of 12.
Out of have 12 though.
Yeah, it's because that's how many dwarfs he took out.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
I managed to get out of that insult with a witchy tie-in.
Backpedaling. Anyway, essentially, Tiberius, and I realised this episode and the last ones that we've done last week, how much I missed Tiberius. It'd been so long since I'd seen him in the show that I've forgotten how great he is as a character.
Spoilers.
I pointed out that probably the reason why is because he's the only character at this point that fully commits to the voice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are kind of half commit.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it resonates more.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, nowadays, we couldn't imagine any of the characters without those voices because we watched it so much.
And it's going to be weird in the new campaign when they...
try different voices.
They're voice actors, so they probably will.
Yeah, and they didn't really find their voice until well into the campaign. It'll be interesting if they commit to a voice now. And then have to do it for years.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's like when, Matt... I always get those two mixed up. It's weird.
Completely different people.
Yeah, Jordan, Sam, Matt.
Or Matt doesn't like doing the Victor voice too much.
Yeah, well, any of those really evil characters that talk like this. And after minutes, it's just like, please stop asking him questions. It's so... Yeah. But
it was like that Lean one shot. Do you remember the Lean one shot when he makes that croaky voice at the end? And everyone's impressed at how long he puts up with it? Yeah, I feel bad for them.
So Tiberius firebolts where the sound is coming from, takes some of them out. 2 nat 20s against Grog as kind of chaos ensues in the underground and the Underdark, and people get murdered and things happen. And
they basically go on the run to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Now, how many episodes of Critical Role have you seen?
6 so far.
Oh, okay.
So you're only on number 6?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, maybe you watch them out of order.
I'm halfway through 6 because there's online they have 4 and then 4.1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So say that again.
So they go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
4.1.
What was 5.1 or 4.1?
I literally was just blatantly disagreeing, having no idea.
Yeah, I know you had no idea. This is why I can't have an conversation with you. You just agree to anything I say.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, do you want to stab yourselves?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, absolutely. And then when it gets to doing it, I'll just make an excuse and say my oven is calling. And
All right, well, to change topic.
Yeah, anyway, I'll figure that out whatever it's for.
I think it's kind of like idyllic, you know? You got the whole almost Indiana Jones scenario where you go in really, really beautifully and you kind of... all disaster, everything that lets loose, and then you have to make your way out.
It's a Machner way. They make a plan, and it just goes to
crash. And then they damage control the best they can. They run through all their spells. Keyleth goes,
Yeah.
That's what Keyleth does.
But they get on the carpet, and they kind of run away, or try and get away, and Grog falls at one point.
Yeah.
And then they gather him again, I think.
Now, this is before they have some of their really powerful items. That they don't have the immovable rod at this point, which would have been great when you're falling. You can just go, immovable rod, and just kind of hang there. They don't have that yet.
And Percy falls unconscious during these shenanigans.
Yep. He even makes a death save, so he falls unconscious. And
it's funny watching the reaction to a death save.
Yeah.
Like, comparatively, now they're just like,
death save. Now, then I was like, he's making...
Yeah, especially Laura. She was like, holy crap. Because they haven't actually experienced too much death at this point. I think Pike was the only one that's actually died pre-stream.
And another interesting thing is watching these episodes, having been so caught up, and they say things like, he takes how many points? 20 points of damage? Oh my god!
They were fighting, what was it, the Hydralisk, I think it was? And they're just going, what? 20 points of piercing damage plus poison? What's going on? Like,
now it's like you take 120, sweet, mark it off, sweet, what's next?
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, they kind of run away from the war camp into a kind of a little tunnel passageway, and then they close it off behind them so they can't basically be followed.
Stone Wall, which I do believe is a 4th level spell. And they kind of build a little cabin type thing, and that's where they have a short rest because they really need it.
And they find Kima's camp.
Yes, and they find a symbol that's been written by Kima, which lets them know they're on the right track.
Exactly. So they're on the right track. They know, which is quite odd considering where they end up at the end of the episode. But we'll talk about when we get there. But yeah, Grog kind of stealths in a way. He just goes charging off ahead.
Grog stealth, yeah.
Grog stealth. Yeah. But yeah, they take a short rest. That's when the break happens in the episode.
Yeah, that's when I go and make more coffee that I don't need.
And that's when Ollie says, "Oh, it's going to be late. No, hurry up and do it."
I think Dave just kind of wants to run a cable to my computer chair from his room, so that when I'm taking too long watching an episode or I'm taking too long editing, he can just Is that fairly
It's
accurate?
weird that you say this is a bad thing, but I can't pick up where where the bad thing is. Well, I can't work out whether you're making fun of me or whether you're actually giving me this as an idea.
You just get a shock collar, you'll be fine.
True. We should get shock collars for each other.
They got something called like the humane thing.
Oh yeah. Apparently you're allowed to torture and murder. It's PC.
Well, I
it's
guess
PC
if
on
you
there.
get found out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we got off track a little bit, but so does Vox Machina as they decide that they're going to... I tried to tie that in, but then
Anyway, they wake up from the short rest, all kind of healed and
Except
stuff.
Pike does not actually take one, because she was already at full hit points, and she was like, well, I'll stay guard in case anything happens.
Did she watch over? I can't remember if she made a perception roll or not.
Yeah.
And they kind of see something skittering around.
But then Matt actually goes, well, you stayed awake for so long, now you get a point of exhaustion. And she hadn't actually, I don't think, thought about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because exhaustion is pretty brutal.
And she does need she didn't realise as well, and she realised after she actually rested, her spell slots as well.
Yeah. So I think there's a little bit of an oversight there, but...
They're still learning the game.
Yeah, they're still learning, even though it's
at this point they didn't have thousands people in chat reminding them what they should do.
Right, so Pike takes a point of exhaustion, which gives you disadvantage on checks and stuff. It's quite bad. Generally, you only take a point of exhaustion if you have to. You have to get to this place, and you have to walk through the entire night. But most of the party gets their hit dice and regains their health.
And they wake up and kind of journey through the cavern there, and they come across two ogres carrying a cart.
And then Vax says it smells like grog. And then Grog rolls to trip Vax, and he poof on the ground, which is just...
Very quickly. I think Vax was like... Oh, Liam was like, hey!
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can't be a dick.
You can, but there are consequences.
Yeah, there's
as
consequences.
in D&D and in life.
And it was a straight, like, my roll versus your roll as well.
And it was 4 and
Yeah, so Liam was, like, kind of protesting to the DM.
Yeah.
And Matt has an awesome quote. I've written it down.
Yeah.
It goes, I would recommend not arguing with the DM. Which I disagree with.
I want to get that on a shirt, actually. And then I can just, at certain moments in the game, just be like... Ow, what the hell was that?
You ripped your shirt.
No, that was something in my pocket hitting my hand.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
This isn't my shirt either.
What do you have in your pocket, like bullets?
Never do that again. Just, it's Magic Mike gone wrong.
Or gone right, depending on how you look at it.
Nope.
Probably wrong, but anyway.
They began with... Sorry, go ahead.
He's the guest.
I'm
something.
going to say this really poorly. I can never get it. Scanlan, yeah. I think he also cast... he did a Song of Resting.
Oh, yes. Yes, he did.
I'm kind of disappointed Matt didn't commit to the songs. I kind of... Because Scanlan, whenever he does anything like... He sings it.
Yeah, he sings it.
But Matt doesn't. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah. But, because Scanlan wasn't... We should point out, Scanlan wasn't actually there.
Yeah, Sam wasn't there.
Sam wasn't there to play Scanlan, so Matt was taking over for him.
Which is rare.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
He
comes late. He comes late to games, but he's never not there.
Another thing, and this is like just me going back from being up to the end of the campaign, back watching the first 5... Matt eating pizza whilst DMing, like he doesn't actually do that anymore.
They all eat pizza. At the time, they're just opening up like a pizza thing and just.
It seems like Tiberius,
And the chat was buying them pizza a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
it's quite. Why can't the people do? If you're watching our stream, buy us pizza once.
Yeah. I mean, we'll give you...
Just so we feel a little bit like Critical Role.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And in fact, it doesn't even have to be while we're streaming, if you just want to send us pizza.
No, only when we're streaming. Otherwise, we're just guys eating pizza, not like guys eating pizza while playing D&D. It's different. It's completely different, Ollie. Anyway, they come across two ogres pulling a cart, as we said 5 minutes ago. And then they...
The ones with the guests always get off track, so easy.
I don't know.
Well, I was about to say, you guys are saying send us pizza, but 145 Oak Grove, that's really hard. Just go ahead and send...
You really want to put your address on the internet?
Well, it's not mine, it's yours.
No, it's not. That's not our address.
It's not?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not mine either.
Drive. How did you get here?
We're literally in our house right now and you still don't know where we are? That's great.
I'm like, oh, that one. Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But if you want to
apologise to anyone with that actual address.
That suddenly gets all these pizzas showing up at the door. That's our bad. But hey, enjoy the pizza.
Will we get in trouble for that? Is there a thing you get in trouble for?
You Google it afterwards because you're editing this and you can just bleep that out.
Yep, go ahead. Yep.
I'm not going to bleep it. I want to see what happens. Anyway, they come across two ogres carrying a car.
Right. Yes, they do. Pizza, sorry. It's too funny.
Anyway, pulling a cart and they decide to kill him.
Yeah, I've
just got simplified version of what happened.
I've basically got written down, they find the ogres with the cart, then I've just got written, stuff happens, and then roll initiative. So I'm not too sure.
So basically they kind of confront these ogres and they decide to kill them.
Yeah.
And they try and sneak attack it.
Yeah.
Vex easily pulls down one of them.
Vex kills the first guy with, I think it was like 46 points of damage, but at their level is pretty impressive with sneak attack and all that kind of stuff. And one attack, poof, first guy falls. And they're like, oh, well, this is going to be really easy.
Yeah, but then they kind of, Vex kind of pulls, exploding arrow or something?
Yep.
And then hits the card. And then it releases these oozes.
Yeah, black slimes.
Which for the record, just in case anyone didn't know, that was chosen by the chat.
Ah, yes. Because back I suppose they still do it in some of the
really,
but not as much as they did. But yeah, one of the great things in D&D is the tropes of very evil-looking monsters with big plates and huge weapons that turn out to be quite sweethearts, and things that you think are fairly innocuous, like little gelatinous blobs, that actually turn to be pretty heavy anyway.
It was pretty terrifying. I think the funniest part of the whole combat was the out-of-character, like, do we want to fight these guys before? Like, oh, okay, we'll go murder them.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with D&D, is that if you come across a situation where you're facing guys you're probably going to lose, it's so hard to run away. It is so hard just to go, all right, we're not going to do this right now, and walk away. Because there's two scenarios. One, your party wipes, the DM feels real bad, everyone just throws a big stink. Or two, like, for the plot, you want them to lose, so it's hard.
Well, this is like when you guys were fighting Olivia Dracava, and I
wanted to kill us. We all
No. I had to have a deity say to one of the players, I think it was Nicholas, look, if things get bad, run. Because I, as a DM, was going, you may not win this one.
Well, that's the other thing is, like,
we did.
And you can go back and watch that. You can go watch that video now on the D20 Multiverse.
We don't even have to do our own plugs anymore. Right? Sweet, I'm going home. Sweet, just continue.
What do you mean going home?
I just realised what I said.
Anyway, two ogres pulling a car.
Still haven't got past that.
If you look at Matt's face during the stream, it's just like he's so poker faced, you know. But other times you can see him like, oh shit, they're gonna do it. You're like. And that's I think personally that's the funniest thing. Is like when Matt shows emotion, he's like either oh shit or like oh okay I didn't see that.
Yeah,
you know?
He's watching the game being played, not the director behind it.
Yeah,
basically shifts that mode.
Yeah. Now my favourite Matt reaction ever is episode 114. I think you know the moment.
Well, ogres pulling a cart.
So the ogres are pulling a cart, roll initiative, battle ensues. They take some dudes out.
First one down.
They free the oozes. Then Vex hears scuttling noises, and two hook horrors come down. Hook horrors, by the way, if you check them out in the monster manual, have beautiful artwork. I was scrolling through that thing the other day and actually came across hook horrors and nearly threw them against you guys. And then they showed up in this episode.
My
okay, well, I'm going to look forward to it now.
You're in a different team.
Yeah. You get comedian John Bennett on the next.
Yes,
that's
we're lucky.
Anyway,
so two ogres pulling the cart.
Now we've got so the ogres are dead at this point. The ogres are no longer pulling the cart.
The funny thing is, we got through 2 hours of the episode in like 5 minutes, and we've spent half an hour
talking about the ogres pulling the cart. Yeah, I know. All right, so we've got the oozes we're fighting, and it turns out if you use electrical damage in them, they split apart.
Yeah.
Which Clarota
does not see and does it again.
Yeah,
and the party
split
goes
apart. So now they're dealing with multiple oozes and these hook things.
Hook horrors who check them out in the monster manual. The artwork for them is amazing.
And there's an interesting point where Laura kind of clicks about her ranger ability, the one that I brought up as well.
Enemy,
it's not the favourite enemy. Constantly. It's the favourite terrain. Which is really used because mine's mountain.
She doesn't use it very often.
I don't get to use it because we don't go to mountains very often.
No.
You are literally on the way to mountains.
Why do you keep on spoiling things?
No, you literally are heading towards the desert of the Uncrossable Storm and the mountains.
Oh yeah.
What's the other thing is what's your favourite enemy?
Undead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So vampires are great.
It's part of his backstory. Very good reason.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they take out everything.
Yep. Two ogres pulling apart.
Now, I've got written down that for this, I think for the combat series, Vax gets my MVP for this episode because he just did some cool stuff. Not only does he do a lot of sneak attack damage,
a lot of dagger.
I'm not wearing my dagger.
No, you're not.
For the, I'm just going to go change. No. And then he also does some cool unnecessary backflips as he's disengaging, and just that's what combat should be.
And Keyleth ends up getting the final kill.
How do you want to do this?
They weren't fighting a big boss. It was kind of like the last one. Yep. They got the how you want to do this, which kind of happens. It's kind of hit the sign of saying this is the last guy you have to kill. They kind of take out the last ooze, and kind of they just splatter, and it's not like a huge significant combat, but it's kind of like mobs in the way.
It's actually real classic D&D combat. You're underground, you've got some dudes that something you don't expect, lightning splits them in half. Then you've got more mobs being added as they do this kind of stuff, and very classic.
All the chaos and all everything as well.
Yeah. The thing is, it's kind of like them still learning about how combat works. Kind of, it's like a tutorial, you could say. It's more like a tutorial combat of them still figuring out the characters, the abilities, just simple mobs taking out, and that's pretty much what they did.
Well, this is why when I run a one-shot, I always have a small bit of combat for one of the players at the start, leading up to the massive combat, so people get a chance to figure it out. But
and Grog falls unconscious on the battlefield.
He does, and then he wakes up after the battle and goes, "Did I kill them?" And the whole party goes, "Yes, Grog, you did wonderfully." And he goes, "Oh, that's good." However, because of the acid damage that the oozes were giving to these guys, Grog's armor actually melts off, and he's left fairly naked, which he just obviously flaunts it, because, it's Grog. And then Liam remembers that he's wearing magically enchanted armor that can go to any size. You take it off, it shrinks down, you give it to someone at scales. Yeah, so he gets Vex gives.
And then he has a reserve armor as well, which is acid resistance, which would be fantastic.
Had you remembered that before?
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah. So basically, Pike does a massive heal, gets everyone back up, especially Kuroda. Kuroda was a little bit damaged during that as well. And then they kind of travel for 30 more minutes, and it turns out they're back exactly where they started. Where the trinket was. Which they kind of forgot about trinket for a little bit. Which is
Laura wasn't there for the last episode, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, wasn't it...
No, didn't she arrive halfway through?
Right. Yeah, they'd already, at that point, Matt had already decided that Trinket would be waiting.
Yeah. They couldn't, because they hadn't had the necklace yet.
And they also couldn't figure out how to get him on the carpet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they were considering polymorphing Trinket so that she was smaller, but didn't in the end.
Was Trinket a he or she?
She? I thought it was a he.
I thought it was a he too.
Well, majority
guys out there,
non-binary Trinket.
Don't bring gender into this.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like the pronoun.
No, we love Trinket. In fact, at some point, what is it? Around about episode 20, they actually get a life-size Trinket for the set.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have it back there a few times. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is they find Kima's camp. Yeah. But that's a loop. So why would Kima go down that way?
Maybe she was lost.
Maybe that's maybe because that just didn't make sense in my mind.
But essentially we're still following the quest to find Kima somewhere beneath this place.
And Matt also showed a map.
Yeah,
he really does that.
Yeah,
he really does that.
Yep.
He needs to do that more.
One thing that actually shocked me was the fact that Kima actually engraved the symbol.
Yeah.
Because it was like there was no. Well, I guess there was. If anyone chanced upon it, right, they wouldn't be able to recognize it.
Yeah.
But there was no point for her to do it at the same time.
Well, maybe unless she knew she was being chased, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Jack and the Beanstalk thing of the crumbs kind of thing.
Yeah, the crumbs. And maybe it was a crumbs thing though. She was. That's where she got captured, maybe.
Well, there is that thing of I don't know why I know this, but if you get kidnapped, I think I should. Maybe this is probably stuff that I've watched on YouTube, but if you get kidnapped,
or
one
research.
of the things,
He's looking into it. It's all for the D&D.
If you wake up, if you wake up tomorrow and you don't know where you are,
don't worry, I'll let you out. I live in the same house as you.
Thanks.
I want to play a game. One of the things you do if you kidnap is drop some of your personal items every so often, so people can kind of find you.
Well, that's a cool story, bro.
I know. Yeah. I realised it wasn't as good and really not.
So the next episode we're following the story about Kavan and trying to get the demon beholder and trying to figure out and also find Kima. So we're going to keep on travelling. So they got a bit more information. They know where to go. They're going to Emberhold. That's their destination. So we'll journey on to Emberhold next.
And it's been real fun watching these episodes that I haven't seen in months because I started months ago. And getting back with Tiberius and, checking out the old school, very D&D classical style.
I haven't watched it for years. a year or two.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun going back. I mean, if you're out there and you've come to the end of the campaign and you're trying to searching for more, you can always go back and watch the original ones because they're
and like this guy, he's watching for the first time.
Yeah, which is one of the wonderful things that we get to do on NPCs.
Halfway through episode 6, so
yeah.
Here's a little tidbit for those out there. Have you ever seen the YouTube? This is a question for you.
Okay.
The YouTube clip of Matthew Mercer dancing to Lady Gaga.
Is that when he's doing the lip sync?
Like the Just Dance thing, and it's like a stream kind of thing.
Yes, I do remember that. It was a charity thing.
Because that takes place right after this episode. They're wearing exactly all the same clothing. If you look it up, he's wearing the same T-shirt, and they even mentioned that they're thinking about staying behind and doing a little dance thing. That actually happens. So
cool.
If you've seen that moment, Google it. It takes place right after this episode.
Yeah. And I think we've got another 70, 80 episodes until the episodes start getting pretty much 4 hours every week.
Yeah. So
because the original ones were 2.5.
So we're kind of getting into it. They're kind of getting into their rhythm of how to do it. The battle cam commitment is still about 50-50. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they show it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
They kind of haven't worked out the balance yet for that one.
But we're essentially watching them as these half-formed clay monsters be slowly shaped into the grand majesty statues that we're used to seeing in the latest episodes of Okmatra. That analogy totally worked.
Yep.
Or if you like Critical Role, it's a good insight for it.
Yeah. That's another way of saying it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for watching our review.
Especially thank you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
We can't interrupt him.
That's how we do it, yeah.
It's okay. It's all good.
If you do want to hear more of Thomas, because we didn't... Not you.
God.
I was actually just saying... I was making it so it was like all of us talking.
Because we have been drowning Tom out. We don't mean to. We just get into a rhythm.
We get excited.
He does a podcast. He was actually on our podcast.
Yes.
With Ben Crellin. I'll put up a quote photo there. If you do want to follow it, it's a really good conversation about D&D and role-playing, gaming, everything. We kind of go all over the show. I'm on this week. You are on our second one. And we try and get all our players eventually on.
Yeah.
So.
Also, if you want to see him, he plays in Black Winter Nights, which this Thursday for us, Wednesday for you, we've got comedian John Bennett on the show. I'm so excited. He's an amazing dude. He does 8 shows around the world. He plays in festivals. He's got them all memorised, which is just incredible. He's got 8 full-length shows in his head memorised that he's performed on cue. I've only seen 3 of them, but they're amazing. So tune in for that, and you get to see some stuff.
Yeah. And you can watch him. Shows with him are on our YouTube.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us on NPCs.
I'm looking forward to John's full performance of all 8 shows live on YouTube.
Yes! I'm not the only one making complete rash, unbelievable promises on the show.
He's all 8
of both of us.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, and thanks everyone that has been supporting the show, and all the likes and follows, and thanks Matt Kogel for retweeting us.
Oh god.
I'm just going to mention it every episode. For myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, Dave, and our lovely guest Tom.
Let Tom have the last one.
Okay.
Pineapples.
See, this is why you don't say much.
Hello, and welcome to NPCs of Wildemount.
No.
NPCs of Wildemount, and
no. It's Tal'Dorei.
Oh, is it?
While Mark's on the new campaign, we're reviewing the old campaign.
Shit, okay, I don't know. We can edit that out.
That wasn't even a teacher.